Mariners lose 8-4. They fall to 36-30 on the season, and they've lost the first two of the 3-game set against the Kansas City Royals. Best they can do now is avoid a sweep. Go over the scoring plays. Mariners get on the board first. The very first pitch of the game, J.P. Crawford homers to right center. 1-0, but Kansas City answers back in the bottom of the inning. A Salvador Perez single to score Maikel Garcia to make it 1-1. Former Mariner legend Adam Frazier homers off of Castillo in the second. That makes it a 2-1 game in the second inning. Not a lot happens until the fifth again, but the Mariners do take a lead. Mitch Garver homers to left to tie the game at 2-2, and J.P. Crawford singles home Dominic Canzone 3-2 at the end of the top of the fifth. The end of the top of the fifth is just worded really weirdly, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, Kansas City gets 3 runs in the fifth inning. Nick Lofton singles home Adam Frazier, and Vinny Pasquantino doubles to left to score 2. Maikel Garcia and Nick Lofton 5-3 at the end of 5. Mariners get 1 in the 6th. The bases loaded sacrifice fly to score Julio Rodriguez 5-4. But Kansas City does the rest of the scoring. Kyle Isbell doubles home 2 in the 6th inning, and Isbell hits a sacrifice fly in the 8th. Final score 8-4. Mariners lose. Series unwinnable. Not a whole heck of a lot of positives to talk about today. J.P. Crawford had a nice day. It was good to see after he makes that mistake last night. And yes, it was a mistake. 100% it was a mistake. But unsurprisingly, J.P. Crawford didn't let it last very long. That he just ambushes that first pitch. He's been driving the baseball much better as of late. Also gets the big RBI single. He had a really nice day. Mitch Garver with the homer and the walk. In June, he's looked fantastic so far. It's a smaller sample to be sure, but 937 OPS coming into the day. That obviously goes up when you reach twice and you homer. Great to see him driving the baseball. Only positive I have on the pitching side is I've been really impressed with Colin Snyder. He does give up a hit to Bobby Witt Jr. Lots of people give up hits to Bobby Witt Jr. But outside of that, I thought he pitched really well. The back-to-back games of him impressing me. I like Colin Snyder quite a bit. More of a long-term play than somebody that I think can be a high-leverage reliever for them this year. But I don't think you can really complain about what he's given you, especially since coming back. The only other positive to talk about is Simply Seattle, the very best in Seattle sports gear. Awesome stuff for the Mariners, of course, but the Seahawks, the Huskies, the Kraken, the Storm, Cougars, Sounders. You can find it all at Simply Seattle. Hey, and once you find all that good stuff, don't just check out. Enter code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off your order. MOLLYWHOP15. Just type that into the checkout thing or copy and paste it because there is a link in the video description to make it nice and easy for you. Shows you're paying attention to the show. It shows that you are like good stuff. And Simply Seattle provides a lot of it. So go get that stuff from simplyseattle.com. We appreciate them helping with the show so very, very much. A lot of negatives. I suppose the biggest negative is like, if you had told me this was going to happen, I wouldn't be surprised. But it hurts a little bit more knowing how you played yesterday, because that's a devastating loss. This isn't as devastating, It means you lose the series, which is not good. But, a result like this is going to happen. It's harder to just brush it away when you know what happened yesterday, Friday night. It's just not. It's not ideal. Luis Castillo was bad today. First time I can say that really all year. There were a couple of bad starts at the beginning of the year, but I blame that more on the defense than on Luis Castillo pitching poorly. No, Luis Castillo pitched poorly today against a lineup you can't pitch poorly against. He was catching way too much of the plate today. I mean, you give up a homer and double to Adam Frazier. That tells you how much of the plate you're giving up. He was not good. Not good. There's no sugarcoating that one. This was easily the worst start he had. It's not surprising or long-term concerning because you had 10 straight starts where you gave up 2 earned runs or fewer. And yes, I'm saying that. They have given him a 3-run game against the Twins. That is nonsense. That is an error. I will go down. I will make sure whenever I mention the final stats for him that run does not count because it's nonsense and it's absolutely objectively garbage scorekeeping. Anyway, Castillo was not good. He pitched very poorly today. Very poorly against, again, a lineup you can't do that to. Royals are good. Royals are good. Trent Thornton wasn't very good. And Kirby Snead was bad. And I got to tell you, this is probably the biggest issue I have from this game. So I have no issue pulling Castillo. He was done. It was time for him to go. It's a 5-3 game. You get the run back in the top of that inning to make it 5-4. You're right in this thing. Why is Kirby Snead pitching in that situation? I don't get it. I just think I'm not a Kirby Snead fan. I think that the only reason he's on this roster, heck, I know the only reason he's on this active roster right now is because the Gabe Spire injury and you need a couple of lefties. Or do you? I don't know if you do. Kirby Snead is not good. This is a large sample of Kirby Snead not being very good. I hated that decision. That's one of my least favorite decisions Scott Service has made this year, and there have been, if we're being honest, quite a few that have scratched the old noggin or made you want to scratch the old noggin. Don't scratch your noggin. Can really hurt. Yeah, Kirby Snead just can't be pitching in that situation to me. I get it. Played a bunch of games in a row. You did have an off day, but you played a bunch of games in a row. You got to keep the bullpen fresh, blah, 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 blah. Kirby Snead cannot pitch in a one-run game. Not unless he absolutely has to, and I have a hard time believing he had to. I'd rather go to Snyder in that situation. Have Snyder throw 2 innings. Probably not realistic since he threw an inning yesterday, but if your Snyder's available, I'm going to Snyder before I'm going to Snead. The SNs have the wrong order right now. Or it sure did on whatever today is, Saturday. There were negatives offensively. I know Cal gets a hit, but it's another bad day at the plate. Dylan Moore was awful. Luke Raley was pretty darn bad. Worth pointing out that Luke Raley plays in this game because Ty France scratched. Never saw why he was scratched, but I imagine it's because he's been hit 90 times. Congratulations to him on that record, but anyway, here's hoping Ty France is okay because we don't want people to be hurt, and he's been playing a lot better lately. Had a 4-reach game yesterday. Yeah, the offense wasn't horrible, but another 11 strikeouts against a pitcher who is far from a strikeout artist. Alec Marsh has a really good 4-seam fastball, but the rest of it shouldn't strike out 8 times against him. Julio with a couple of Ks, Cal with a couple of Ks, Luke with a couple of Ks, Canzone with a couple of Ks. I know Canzone got the hit, but those at bats. And by the way, some people have given me some flack about me not wanting Luke Raley to hit against left-handed pitching, and they've shown me that his OPS is higher against lefties this year. It's 22 plate appearances, guys. Take a look at his career numbers and watch Luke Raley hit. Watch Luke Raley hit against a lefty and tell me that you want that. Watch that at bat and watch how he picks up the baseball and tell me that you want that. You don't know what you're talking about. I rarely get curt or try to say, I know more than you. In this situation, if you think Luke Raley should be playing against left-handed pitchers, I know more than you. Awful at bat, and Canzone's was even worse. They can't pick up the baseball. It's not even an insult to them. It's so hard to hit lefty on lefty. It's one of the most difficult things to do, especially when you're facing left-handed relievers who are coming at you with not only great stuff, but funky arm slots that are impossible to pick up. Stop. I get that you're frustrated with Scott Service. I totally get it too. There is a ton of pressure on him this year. He needs to take this team to a division title, and he needs to win a playoff series in order for me to feel comfortable in bringing him back. There you go. That should answer any questions about whether or not I'm a Scott Service apologist. But insults for the sake of just insults are the most annoying thing about sports fans. But those at bats were awful. Awful. In a huge situation. So it's an understandable loss and it's a frustrating one too, but it becomes even more frustrating based on what happened last night. And now you got to win tomorrow in order to avoid the sweep. Here's the good news. Last time I checked, the Rangers were losing. I'm going to hit pause real quick. It's not true because they lost. The game is over. Good job, San Francisco Giants. Mariners still have a 5-game lead in the division. But tomorrow, you have George Kirby going up against Cole Reagans. And Cole Reagans, I think this might be a lower scoring game. Or I don't expect the Mariners to exactly go crazy today or Sunday. Cole Reagans is really good. Really good. And has some of the best swing and miss stuff against a lineup that swings and misses an awful, awful, awful lot. Bummer. But I don't know. Sorry for getting angry. I don't know. Just frustrated. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate the support a ton. Be back Sunday with another recap. Monday, another Mile Y enthusiast chat. Would appreciate you joining. $4.99 a month, and I promise I don't yell at you in that one.